Alright, so welcome. This is Stats XL10 Introductory Statistics. My name is Miles Chen. You can call me Mr. Chen. We will be learning statistics in this class. And looks like you guys found the class okay. Let me just talk about a few things. You can come through that door over there, or you can come through this entrance. You guys probably came through this one, but if you exit through there, you'll see where you end up. And if it's open, you can enter through that one. Regarding parking, I don't know if you guys parked on campus, paid for parking or whatnot. Depending on your luck, you might be able to find street parking around the campus. Along LeConte, there's parking meters. So LeConte is the street where there's the Ralphs and now it's a Chick-fil-A and that stuff. There's parking meters along that street. Once it hits 8 o'clock, the parking meters turn off. So if you get here at, it's up to 2 hours parking, so if you get here anytime after 6 o'clock, you pay for the 2 hours. It takes you up until 8 o'clock. The meters turn off and you can park there for the free for the rest of the day. So $2 is a lot cheaper than 11. If you're willing to walk a little bit, sometimes in the neighborhood on the west side of campus, so that would be around the streets Strathmore, Gailey, Ophir, those streets, you might be able to find street parking there. Similar story there. I think it's 2 hour parking up until 6 o'clock. So if you get here after basically 4 o'clock, you can park there for free for the rest of the night. Depending on whether like a fraternity is throwing a party or not, you may or may not be able to find parking in that area. Okay. Just questions on just some practical stuff like that. Yes.
Can you park scooters on bike racks?
Park scooters? What's a scooter?
Small motorcycle.
Small motorcycle.
There's parking for it, and you park in the motorcycle
you cannot park a motorcycle on a bicycle rack or a motorized scooter. But there is free motorcycle parking on campus. There's 2 locations that I know of. One is near Parking Structure 2 by the Psychology Building, France. Another one is when you enter near Ackerman, the bus terminal area at the end of Westwood. There's oh, you know what? It's under construction now.
It's like right over, like you just go to the
okay. Apparently there's one over this way as well.
There's one like right there, so, like where you enter. It's a free bike park.
But
will I be receiving a ticket?
No, it's completely free.
Motorcycle parking completely free. So.
No, at the bike rack where currently.
I don't know about that. Okay. I don't know.
Thank you.
That I can't say. Question.
The lot straight ahead past the park, there's just a little long lot to park. Do you know if that is free after 8 o'clock as well?
Is it a campus-owned lot? Or?
I'm not sure. Probably. It was just like the number on the bottom, pay by the meter, so I'm sure.
Okay, so if it's a pay by the thing, you probably, it's not. So all the lots on campus, you got to pay basically $11 if you're going to park anywhere on campus. Okay. The parking situations I talked about are basically public parking areas maintained by the city of Los Angeles. So those will be, usually they expire at 8 o'clock unless it's like Saturday when they expire at 10 o'clock or something like that. So. All right, this is our class website, okay? Classes.smileschen.com, okay? And you're going to click the XL10 section there. Basically all the announcements, homework assignments, information regarding the course is going to go on here, okay? I asked my program representative to send an email to you guys. Most of you guys should have received an email from me. If not, the school didn't have your correct email address. But I need to get your email address. And because of some privacy policy, they're not allowed to give me your email address. So you have to give me your email address. So please do that. And I'll show you how to do that It's very simple. A lot of you guys already did. I think I got some from about 35, 40 of you, but that means there's about 25, 30 of you who did not turn it in. Okay, so you type that into your web browser and you end up here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You're going to pick Summer XL10 right there. And this lists off, pretty much this is our syllabus or course policies. You can also scroll down to the very bottom of the page and download a syllabus yourself. Okay, so that's at the very bottom of the page. But most everything is listed right here anyway. Okay, we'll talk about this in a moment. But let me just talk about other things that I have going on the web page. Okay. So all of your homework assignments are going to be posted under homework. Okay. So you just go over to homework. You can click homework 1. So you guys do have a homework assignment this week, and it will be due 1 week from today on July 2nd. All right. And basically, I list off all the problems that you need to do here. Okay, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. I also post on the course webpage. I post videos of our lecture. So this is from last quarter, but basically you can see I'm using this camera right here, and it's recording what's happening in class. So barring any kind of technical problems or camera malfunctions, I'm going to upload those to YouTube, and they'll be up on the website probably by Wednesday or Thursday. Okay, and this is there as a service for you guys to help you learn. Meaning, you know, we meet once a week for 3 hours at a time. That's a very long time, and so a lot of times your brains get tired, and you don't quite catch everything that I covered in that last hour or so. And so this allows you to go back and kind of review things at your own pace and make sure you learn it, okay? Please don't use this as an excuse to just miss class and say, I don't have to come because it's going to be online. Technically, there might be some truth to that, but I think your learning experience is much better when it's in person, okay? And most of you guys are sitting in this front half of the classroom, which I think is great. I think the further back you sit, I don't know, it seems the grades seem to get lower and lower. I don't know why, but that's kind of a phenomena that happens. And so, you know, this is my favorite class, statistics. Okay, when I took it as an undergraduate student in college. It literally changed my life, and so here I am as a graduate student teaching you guys statistics now. All right? Yeah. Whoa. So I love it, and I know most of you will not become statistics majors. Okay? I already know that, and it, you know, it breaks my heart a little bit, but I know some of you. This represents the last class that you need to transfer out of your school to go somewhere else, right? Yeah. You know, that's some of your stories. Others of you are taking this because you heard about statistics and you think it's great, or maybe some of you guys heard about my class in particular and you wanted to take my class. I don't know, but I know not all of you will fall in love with statistics as I have. But my goal is to teach the material in a way that is at least understandable, and well, at least give you guys an appreciation for the subject. Okay, some of you say you've always hated math. Maybe we can say, well, it's not my favorite subject after. So maybe we can change some hearts there. Okay. So let me just go over some course policies here. All right. So anyway, we're gonna learn statistics. This is our textbook. Okay. Introductory statistics, so it should look like this. If you got some other book, like one with a car on it or something, that is not the right textbook. So it needs to be the one written by Gould and Ryan. If you don't have it, you can buy it online. There's a whole bunch of places. You can buy it at the UCLA bookstore. I do have a link here on the website that you can use. it sends you to Amazon, and you can get it either used or new. And if you click that link and buy something, I'll get like 2% of your purchase. So that's like a nice little bonus, but whatever, you know. But it's not like I can give anybody bonus points for that, because it just says these things happen. But that's there, and also let me just talk about calculators. You guys need a calculator for this class, okay? Technically, any calculator that has a square root button is okay. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have a scientific or graphing calculator, I strongly recommend investing in one, okay? They're about 15 to 20 bucks. You paid like $600 for this class, okay? I think a $20 investment in a scientific calculator is going to be well worth your money, okay? You know, I wish things weren't so expensive. I wish this book wasn't $100 or more than $100. But the textbook industry, they have basically have a monopoly on the books that you have to buy, and so that's unfortunate. But in terms of investment that I think is definitely worth it, a calculator. You can get something like this for about 15 to 20 bucks. Again, I've got recommendations with links. If you have a graphing calculator already, that's great. There's no need to spend another $100 on a different graphing calculator or anything like that. But if you don't want to buy a calculator, then the answer is technically yes. You can use any calculator with a square root function, but this is much better. Okay, and cell phones aren't allowed. Yes, question.
Would you recommend one that does do graphs over just a scientific one that does not do graphs?
You know, there are graphing calculators, and they do all sorts of stuff that are really cool. But they cost like $100, and because of that, I can't endorse it, because especially with what we're doing in our class, this is going to do everything you need to do. And so
we're not going to need like a graphing.
No, you don't need one, right? I mean, if you're going to take more advanced math where a graphing calculator is going to make a difference, sure, you can go ahead and invest in that. But there's no reason. I'm not going to tell you spend $100 when $16 is going to do the job. Okay. Yeah, all graphing calculators have a square root function. Okay, you probably have to hit the second button or something. And then, yeah, cell phones aren't allowed just because there's too much danger in texting each other answers, and I don't know who's punching in calculations versus texting a friend an answer or something like that. So I gotta say no to that. We're gonna have quizzes, 4 of them, and 2 exams. There's a midterm and a final. These are the dates of those, so please make sure you will be here on class for those dates. Okay. The quizzes start at 7 o'clock, and they last about half an hour. Some of them 35 minutes. And if you come here late, 7:20 or something, you're only going to get 10 minutes to take it. I'm not going to give you the half an hour. It's just the quiz is going to end at 7:30 or something like that. So please make sure you come to class on time. I know traffic in Los Angeles is bad and unpredictable, so just allow yourselves just that extra time, especially on those dates. So just put those in your calendar. Okay. Okay. So anyway, this is my email address. If you have questions related to the course or things like that, you can email me there. If you have some administrative questions, things regarding, I don't know, enrollment and things like that, the person you need to contact is Sadie Ortiz. She's our program representative, okay? If any of you have a learning disability, okay, or even like a physical disability or something, maybe you are entitled to have extra time on your quizzes or tests or something like that, the people you need to contact is right here, access@UCLA Extension, okay? Please don't email me and tell me what your circumstances or conditions are, because I'm not qualified to make those kinds of evaluations. So you need to contact them. They will make the evaluation and determine what you're entitled to, and then they'll let me know. Okay? You have a question?
How responsive would you say you are with emails?
Pretty good, except on the weekends. Okay, so weekends I could give myself the days off. So, but actually, so let me talk about that. I set up a Facebook group. Okay, there's a group page. So if you have Facebook, I recommend you you join the group here. Okay, and if you have questions about any of the homework problems or questions about anything we learned in class, or just general class questions, I would recommend you post those questions here, okay? Because there's a good chance that other students have the same question, and your question and my answer to that question will benefit the other students in the class. Now, if you don't have Facebook, that's okay. You don't have to sign up for Facebook, okay? It's just I know that a lot of you do, and this is I found to be helpful. Okay, because a lot of times students, before I did this, different students would ask me the exact same question over and over again. So here I can just answer it once, and everyone can see, or everyone in the group can see. So join that. But again, if you don't have Facebook, that's fine. All right. So put your just general questions there. But if you have personal questions or issues like this thing is happening to you, then you can send them to my email address. Okay, you don't have to make that public. Although some of you guys like to live that way. So, but that's that. Okay. Any questions on just kind of this stuff? Alrighty. All right. So let's just talk a little bit about some of the other course policies. That's our textbook. Yeah, there's this StatCrunch thing that we're going to have to talk about. We'll talk about that next week. And yes, please get yourself a calculator, okay? We'll talk about the exams being the midterm exam and final exam as those approach. All right, so the homework assignments, basically I've got homework due pretty much every week except for, there's like the week after the midterm you don't have homework due, okay? The homework assignments are for you guys, all right? I don't really care what happens. Basically, when I grade your homework, I just flip through to make sure you did all the problems, and if you did, you get full credit, okay? But it's there for you guys to learn the material. And so if you just copy each other's homework or copy the answers to the homework, you might get full credit on them, okay? And but you're not going to learn that way. And so I definitely encourage you to do your homework on your own. I'll show the homework page. Yes.
Good evening.
Hi.
I'm just coming to see you already.
Yeah, everything.
You already mastered it.
Yeah, everything's working great. So.
Thank you, sir. Have
Thank
a
you.
good class, all of you.
Thank you.
Isn't that great? All right. And yes, so the way the homework's going to work, you're just going to write it on notebook paper. Please staple your homework. Please don't put little frilly things on the edges of your homework, okay? Homework, so stapled homework, and put your name on it, and you'll turn those in here. Okay, so we'll get that set up next week when your first homework's due. Okay, so I've got kind of this makeup policy, and I've had to make it more and more elaborate each quarter because all these new strange situations would appear. And but basically, okay, if you have some kind of emergency and you miss the quiz, that's okay. I just need some kind of documentation to say, I was indeed sick, or I had car problems, or something like that. Okay, I need just some kind of documentation. It's unfortunate, but I can't take students at their word all the time. So And so I talk about what valid excuses are and what aren't valid excuses. And that's it, okay? So, but if you miss the quiz because of you just decided to hang out with friends or something, no makeup will begin. So yeah.
So like I'm reading right there, like if I know already I'm gonna be missing one of the quizzes, we can schedule a makeup day
Yeah,
for
so
that.
if you know you're gonna miss a quiz, okay, if you're planning for it, just contact me in advance and say, I'm gonna have to take the quiz early, and that's fine, okay? This is our grade breakdown. So homeworks and lab assignments will count for 15% of your grade. The quizzes will count for 20%, and the midterm and final exam 30 and 35%. So these two exams count for a huge chunk of your grade. So please prepare for those, study for those, okay? All right, you might get 100% on your homework, and you might do well on your quizzes, but if you do terrible on these midterm and final exams, your grade will not be good. And don't send me emails like, how could I get this poor of a grade? I did so well on the quizzes. I'm gonna just write, well, the quizzes only count for 20%, and this final exam, which counts for 35%, you did really bad on. So that's that. So basically, the homework and quizzes, these serve as ways to boost your grade, okay? In fact, I'm really generous with the grading of the quizzes in that there's going to be 4 quizzes, and only the top 3 quizzes will count, okay? So your lowest quiz grade, whether it's a 0 because you didn't take the quiz, or a 5 because you didn't study for it, I will drop the lowest quiz, and the other 3 get averaged, and that goes in for your quiz grade. And they're there to just kind of boost your grade, as probably the midterm and final will hurt your grade a little bit. Yeah.
I have a couple questions about the quizzes.
Yeah.
I read, like, when you scrolled up, that we have to bring photo identification for the final. Will we have to bring it for quizzes also?
Not for the quizzes. I'm going to assume that you are you for the quizzes. But yeah, you know, there has been issues with cheating, and so I do my best to try to prevent cheating. And if I see you doing something suspicious, I might ask you to move to another seat, okay? Because I would hate to have, because if I'm going to bring forth a formal accusation that a student's cheating, it's a very long, drawn-out process, and I'd rather avoid that if I can. But there's something in my heart that's like a believer in justice and fairness, and so if I do catch students cheating, like I don't just let it slide. So.
And also, you said that we only have the first 30 minutes for quizzes, so it's not going to be a fairly long quiz, huh?
No, it's a fair length, okay? Well, I always think all of my tests and quizzes are fair. And most students, I think, of course there's a few that always run out of time. But okay, and yeah, so all of my quizzes and exams, they have bonus points built into it. Okay, so basically, if you answer all of the questions correctly, you'll get like 110% on the final or on the quiz or something. Yes.
Lab assignments, what are those?
Lab assignments. We'll talk about that next week. Basically, so we learned statistics from this textbook, okay? And the truth is, if you were to actually do statistics today, you would not use a textbook, okay? You're going to be using a computer, and it's going to be analyzing data for you. And so the lab assignments are kind of just like this mini playground, not playground, but just little assignments where you use the computer to do some statistical analysis for you. In the past, a lot of students hated the lab assignments, so I'm trying to make them less, I don't know, hate-worthy, I guess. But it's hard, okay? Just that's the challenge of being an instructor. All right, so just a few things. Some of you are here hoping to get added to the class, okay? If that's you, maybe I should have said this at the beginning. You're not going to get into the class, okay? The class is totally full. The wait list is also completely full. And basically, if a student drops, the computer is going to go to the next person on the wait list, and we'll add you that way. At least that's what I've been told from the administration. So that's all I can say. And well, I don't know if there's any other questions about that. Okay. And so I think that's it. Regarding course policies, are there any questions about how things are going to work in this class? Yes?
You said you want homework turned in online first and on graph.
Yeah, graph paper, just plain paper, okay? Plain paper is fine, okay? You don't have to buy special paper or anything like that. Yeah?
I'm sorry, I'm confused about what are the lab things you said? Is that
Okay, there's
at home on your computer or in class on the computer?
At home on the computer, okay? So next week I'll give you guys your first lab assignment, okay? Where, and I'll try to talk about it. Basically, you're gonna use your computer and do some stuff.
That's not easy.
Okay, but I might have to change up some of the lab assignments. And let me just talk a little bit more about the homework, okay? So this is your first homework assignment, okay? So basically, you're going to have to do some reading from chapters 1 and chapter 2. Okay, I say, read the book, and then at the end of each chapter, there's a whole bunch of problems. Okay. So if you're not sure where these problems are, it's at the end of the chapter. You'll see. So chapter 1's exercises start on page 26 in the book. Okay, and you're just going to do the problems that I have listed here, and you're going to do those on paper and turn those in. Yeah.
Do we have to write down the question?
No, you don't have to write down the question. Okay. That would be tedious. All right. Other things you have to do this week is give me your name and email address if you haven't done so already. A lot of you guys already have, so you don't have to do that. And if you have Facebook, join this Facebook group, okay? And then just go over the syllabus. The other thing is, as you do the homework, okay? And this is how I recommend you do the homework. I would say, read section 1, section 2, and then do the problems for, section 1 and 2 or whatever, okay? Read a section and do the problems for the section, okay? Some of you guys try to do all the reading all at once, and then try to do all of the homework problems all at once, okay? There's no law against it, but I promise you that if you go read one section and do that section's problems, the learning experience will be better, okay? So do it that way. And then what I've also done is for all of the homework problems that I've assigned, I've created answers, video answers to all of these things. So I work through the problems and show you how to do it and talk about what the question was asking and how to solve it. Now these videos are made to help you. Okay, so please don't allow them to hurt you. What I mean by that is, and this happens every quarter, some students will do no work throughout the week, and then come Tuesday morning, they're like, oh no, I have to turn in my homework at 7 o'clock tonight. And so they panic, and all they do is they just go straight to the videos, and they just copy what they see in the video and put it on a piece of paper and turn that in, okay? Will that person get credit? Yeah, okay? Because I can't tell the difference between someone who actually worked through the homework and somebody who just copied a video with the correct answers, okay? So I can't tell the difference, so that person will get full credit on the homework. But again, homework's worth 15% of your grade. The learning aspect, whether or not you actually learn what was covered in the homework, that covers the other, 85% of your grade. So if you just do that, you're not going to learn, okay? Everything always makes sense when I do it in class. Everything always makes sense when you watch the video. The true question is, can you do it when I'm not showing you how to do it, okay? Can you do the problem on your own? Which is what you're going to have to do for a quiz and what you're going to have to do for the exam. So when you do the homework, try it out yourself. If you get stuck and you don't know how to do it, go back to the reading, see if you can find an example that does it, and try to do it yourself, okay? If you're truly stuck and you have no idea, then you can start watching the video, and as soon as it shows you how to get the problem started, and this requires some self-control, hit pause and see if you can finish the rest of your problem, okay? Because again, like I said, as soon as you start hitting play, everything's going to make sense, okay? You're going to be like, oh, of course I do that, and of course that's the next step, okay? But when you're faced with a problem while you're by yourself, that's when your brain goes blank, okay? And it's not actually that it went blank, it's just that it was never there to begin with. So, so just learn it yourself, and then it enters your brain. Yes.
What would you say is the average time a weekly homework assignment?
It's different from student to student. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. A few hours. Okay. If you're taking several classes this summer, your life isn't going to be fun, okay? If this is your one and only class, it's going to be all right. But if you're taking other, you might not have fun. Yes?
Is there a suggested schedule on each homework assignment?
On most of them, yes. On most of them there is, okay? Where I tell you, do this on this day and do that and something like that, okay? Again, I strongly recommend that you do a little bit of statistics several times throughout the week, rather than doing it Tuesday morning or, one day a week, okay? Statistics and most math classes are just, you learn a lot better if you do it incrementally, okay? Just learn a little bit, so start off by, tomorrow, take a little bit of time, then do a little bit maybe on Friday and some on Saturday or something like that, rather than putting everything off and just doing it all on one day. Now I know you guys, some of you are working or taking other classes, and that might not be possible, but as much as you can, try to do a little bit each day. Okay, so I'm going to do this, which is I'm going to give you guys a little test here, okay? And the reason for this, okay, is because some of you are here and you should not be here. I don't know how to put this gently, but some of you, if you take statistics, it fulfills your math requirement at your junior college or wherever you are attending. But some of you are skipping a whole bunch of prerequisite classes, okay? And you're just jumping straight into statistics. All right? I don't recommend that. I think it's a terrible, terrible idea, okay? In order to do well in this class, you need to have a very, very good grasp and understanding of algebra, okay? Some of you took algebra and did fine, but that was 10 years ago, okay? Maybe you're not ready for this class, okay? Others of you maybe just took Algebra 1 last quarter or something, and you passed, and technically you do have the knowledge that's required, but you still might not be ready for this class. And what I mean by that is, the analogy is, just imagine you have a younger brother who just got his driver's permit, okay? So he just got his learning permit, meaning he took the written test and he knows all the rules of the road, okay? And maybe he had 1 hour behind the wheel class or something, Okay, so he's pressed the gas and brake on the car. But would you then say, oh, sure, I'll let you borrow my car, and why don't you drive up to San Francisco this weekend? Okay? That's not a good, wise idea, just because that person hasn't learned, like, the experience of driving is not second nature to that person, okay? That person still has to think, oh, I gotta hit gas, I gotta hit brake, I gotta hit the indicator, okay? Where probably most of you who've been driving for a few years, all of that driving stuff is completely second nature, where you can drive home at night, completely blank out, not remember how you got home, but somehow you managed to get home because everything is automatic, okay? These algebra concepts need to kind of be that automatic process, because I'm going to be, as I'm teaching, I'm assuming that the algebra is automatic, and so I'm going to be doing a lot of steps very quickly. And if you've got to be thinking, oh, what do I have to do? I have to subtract 4 from both sides of the equation, and then I have to multiply by 2 both sides. If you got to think of this kind of step-by-step process as though you were someone learning how to drive, you're going to have a rough time, okay? So I'm going to pass this out, and it's just to give you an idea of where you stand in terms of your math preparation.